Professional application.
It's a professional application that we're using to record this
Yeah.
episode. We could say the name. The application is professional, but
We
we
are
can't
not.
say the same about ourselves.
We are not.
We are not professional.
So, ladies and gentlemen, and gentlewomen,
Yes, those especially gentlewomen.
yeah,
Today is all about business. I know you're all about Valentine, but we are all about business.
we are all about business.
Now it sounds we are just bitter people, who just are not coupled, and so we hate on Valentine's Day.
Okay, like, no, Valentine Day is cute, but it's overrated, like, especially now with social media, like, everyone is like, oh, cars and like flowers all over the place, and
A lot of
and on
flowers.
reality, that's not true.
It's
You
not?
know, it's not, I don't think so. Like, I call my friends, it's like, what did you do on Valentine's? It's like, yeah, we went to a restaurant, we ate, and it's like, so what did, like, you guys get gifts to each other? It's like one flower and some stuff, like
Yeah.
ring or something, or like necklace. I have rich friends, but they don't do this, what we see on social media.
Even your rich friends don't do what's on social media, then who does what's on social media?
Just who's on social media to get more money, yeah?
What type of people are those?
Yeah.
What do rich people do for Valentine's Day?
Like, for example, I'll give you my cousin, for example. He
Is he rich?
quite good, he's rich.
Okay.
And
Is he
he's
single?
married. He's married, come on. How he's single and I'm giving example.
Okay.
He just bought gifts and took her out on a date, and they spent a very nice evening outside. He didn't fill the whole house with flowers. He didn't call friends to record it because it's Valentine. It's about her, It's not like
So there were no people singing in front of the house. They're playing
No.
classical music.
no.
Okay.
So yeah, today was all about business for us,
Yes.
not
yes, it was.
Valentine.
And it's also the topic of today's episode. It's business and work
Business.
and family, most importantly, and working with people you know. Because that's like a topic no one really talks about, I feel.
And it happens quite often.
And it happens all the time. But no one prepares you for what it's like to work with your family.
Or your friends, you know,
Yes, that's true.
which sucks because where do I start from?
There's so much trauma connected to this. It's like, where do I even begin?
Yeah.
When I was 5.
So working on its own is a hard thing. Like, you have to work to give a lot of effort to
Wait,
take.
can I interrupt you?
Yes, sure.
Let's remind our listeners our cultural background, because it's important. Because I think maybe working with family and friends might turn out differently depending on where you're from, right?
That makes sense. Yes.
So you're Arab.
Yes.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Okay. Is it the time to say Free Palestine?
Free Palestine. I don't know. We're going to jail for this, but
Oh my God. Cancelled. Already. My background is Ukrainian. However, I grew up in Czech Republic. Right, that's important because there are some nuances or how strict your childhood is depending on where your
where
blood
you
is
grow
from.
up,
Yeah.
or yeah.
Tell me some things that you heard when you were growing up when it came to working and making money.
And making money. Well,
Just give us a minute.
don't work for money. Work to learn,
Oh,
It's
yeah?
like, man, what I'm like, of course I will learn, but I'm working mainly for money,
Yeah.
How you're telling me not to work for money, work to learn?
So you heard that growing up, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't work for money, work to learn.
Yes.
So and what was like the expectation that you're gonna be learning the whole life?
Like, I think so, yeah. You're gonna be learning until what you learned will generate you good money. It makes sense,
Yeah.
but like, that's also bullshit. Because everyone, they start work for money. You
Of course.
work for money to cover your needs, and then you start learn more and explore yourself, develop yourself,
Right.
and start make more money. But everything starts with money. If you don't have money, you can't learn shit.
Yeah, it's, you know, I think people feel wrong, and I've also experienced it in like my previous jobs. When you say you come there for money, they look down on you and they expect you to come there because you love the people, or you take them as a family, you know. They're like, "Oh, you don't tell me you only do this for money." Of course I do this for
Yeah,
money. You
like I
think
don't
I'm
know you
bored?
yet. I don't know you much
I
yet.
got life. If I didn't need money, why would I be here? Why? Like to do spreadsheets? Wow. Can't wait. But you're right. Like work to learn at the beginning, we all have to do that. It's not like we come and we already know what to do. We work to learn, but
Yeah,
it didn't give you like the best base for how to think about money, right?
exactly. Because for people who graduated university, they learn for 5 years. And when you go first, when you start your first job after graduating, you start with a very low salary until you gain experience, and then they pay you more. But what happens to work to learn? You know, I learned 5 years in school, and I've made, for example, two, three stages, like which mean I mean internship. So what happened to this? I'm learning, you know.
What was like one of the first jobs you had? Do you remember? Wait.
Yeah,
And there might be a difference because maybe you had to work already at an early age without getting paid.
exactly,
Exactly right. I'm
exactly.
talking from my experience
I'm
too.
talking from my experience too.
Okay.
So to answer your question, first job, I'm not sure if it's really, really first job because since I was really young, I used to go with my dad to his job, to his work. My dad is an civil engineer. So I used to go with him. They gave me like some office and I used to learn from the people around. But then he used to send me with his other friends. Like, for example, one of his friends, he used to work in car oil. So he was like, "Would you like to work with me and you will make some money?" I was like, "That sounds good." I was like very young,
Of
and
course it sounds
of
good.
course, it
But
sounds
do you
great.
remember your age?
Not more than 11.
That's
I was
crazy.
like maybe 9, 10, something like this. So I go there. We used to put the car oil and in a box, and we used to put money in the box, right? Like for example, $50 or $1 or $5. Some of the box there is like $100 in them. You know, there was like something going on. You know, it's like a big event. The people who buy, there is like randomly money in it. You know, so you buy the oil, you open, maybe you will
And you
get
have cash?
100. Yeah, maybe you will get something. You know, it was
Was it like a marketing strategy or
uh,
something?
to be honest, I don't quite remember because I didn't know about this stuff, so I didn't care as long as I take some money, I get paid
Who
because
cares?
exactly. So I worked with him for 1.5, 2 months, 1.5 or 2 months, and he promised me he would pay me, and he will give me, in the end, he will give me books full of toys and stuff. I was super happy. Like the excitement. I was doing my job 100%,
And that's
giving
kids
everything.
excitement, right?
Exactly. And this motherfucker, like, he's like, I'll give you a lot of toys. And I was like, oh, toys.
It's child labor.
I was like, cars, Batman, Spider-Man, toys, you know? And on the top of toys, I will have some money.
Yeah.
And I started to have this imagination, what am I gonna do with the money? What am I gonna save or invest? Or like, what do you do with money when you're like this age, you know?
No one told you, huh?
No one told you shit. And I finished this like 2 month period and I didn't get anything,
You didn't get anything.
nothing. And I went crying to my dad. I'm like, sorry, before I go crying to my dad, he was like, okay, we finished now, and I will settle up everything after like 1 week or something. I waited and waited and waited. Nothing happened. I was like, Dad, please, can you ask your friend? He's like, don't worry, my son. When he is ready, he will give you what you. You know, I'm like, okay, that's
So,
my, if my dad is saying that, then it's my dad. He's my model, you know, at this
right.
age, like my dad is everything.
Uh-huh. We
And
trust them.
yeah, of course, unfortunately. So time passes, and then like the games is still in my head, like the toys and the money, and like where are they? I didn't forget. I went, then I started like thinking about it, and I realized that I'm not gonna get shit. And I realized that I worked 2 months putting money in front of boxes, you know,
All that money you
all
could have
that money I
taken.
could have taken, you know, all that like $100, I could have just put some in my pocket.
Yes.
And then I when this reality hit me, I started crying. I went to dad like, Dad, where is my money? Where is my toys? You know, like you promised me. And he's like, it's okay. We don't want problems with people. Like, okay, I will buy you toy. You know, here is here is like $5 or $10 he
Yeah.
gave me at the time. You know, it's like for my age it was good.
Right.
You know, for my age it was good.
But for all the work and the
But
time,
exactly, like 2 months I'm working for $5. Like
and
how?
yeah, and
What
you're
is
doing your
this?
best,
Exactly.
right?
And the imagination that I went through, that's what broke my heart.
You were not familiar with the concept of too good to be true
Yeah.
yet
Yeah.
at the time,
No, no, no.
right?
And that time when it kicked.
Yeah. So that's how it began. One of your first works were already with a family friend,
Yes.
not a stranger, right? Not some like part-time job at the pizza somewhere over there at
Yeah.
the corner. It reminds me of kind of the vibe in our family that we had. If other people like were doing well, you could feel in our house the kind of like the jealousy, but the like covered jealousy, like, oh, we are good people regardless, even
Yeah.
if we don't live that way, you know, instead of like, you know, saying, yeah, they're doing really good.
I want to do the same.
That also didn't help me to feel like I should want good for myself. Like what I was taught was like, oh, you shouldn't like want much because what you have is enough.
Is enough, yeah. So, what was your first working experience? Did you have, I feel like you had similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? And this, I don't know, this is like specific to women, especially in the Eastern culture, Eastern Europe, I mean, right? But I feel like I was put to work at a very young age in the household. So I think that's probably common in the East. I'm not sure in Czech Republic specifically, but like otherwise, yeah. From a young age, you taught, right, how to like do the dishes. That's why I'm so good at it. Right? You do everything in the house, like you wash clothes and change the linen and you do the dishes, and you kind of are taught how to prepare some meals, right, and look out for people and kind of serve them. So that's part of it. But then the worst thing happened. Should be a good thing to happen, but we bought a cottage. Like my family bought a small cottage in the suburbs somewhere at the city. And instead of that being like a beautiful place where you come to rest and chill and enjoy the nature,
Okay.
you are put to work as soon as you get off the car, because there are apples on the ground that need to be picked, you know, so they don't rot. There is grass to be cut. There is all sort of stuff to be like planted and cleaned. And like I
I
hated
wanna
it
have
so
fun.
much.
I wanna have fun,
I
not cut
swear.
apple and clean that.
So you imagine my parents are like, we're going to cottage. And I'm like, no. And like, of course, I had to go, right? And that was like my first shift for free.
Like I think parents, they make kids to serve them, you know,
Our generation did.
right? Especially our generation. Like I used to hear my, like even my parents and their friends and my uncles, they say, uh, when you will get married, you should make children to take care of you when you're old.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is not the goal.
Yeah.
Like, you are bringing a human being to this life just to take care of you when you're old. What a fucking selfish mindset,
It is.
you know?
Yeah.
And because of this mindset, they are disappointed because when you have your life and you don't give them what they think you should give them,
Yeah.
like, of course, you give them attention, you give them, like, you help them when they need,
Yeah.
but no, they need all of you.
They own
They
you.
own you. You're my son. How
I
could you
made
do
you.
that? You know, I brought you to this world. Like, bitch, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you to
Send
bring
me
it.
back.
Yeah. You know, we had like a little of argument, and I really got on his nerve. And he was like, "At least you have food on the table." I was like, "That at least what you can do, sir." And he really thought about it, and he felt it, so he
Uh-huh.
didn't say anything.
They never even think about it because no one ever told them. They never even realized that like you're supposed to give that to me. It's
Yeah,
your job
yeah,
to
no.
give me food until a certain age. Like I have to eat.
Yeah.
Like
I have to live
I
if you
have
want
to.
me to take care of you.
Yeah, I mean like.
The story of where I worked and I didn't get paid, that wasn't the end of it, you
Yeah.
know? It's like
This was just the
it
beginning.
was just the beginning of
Oh.
my career life, you know, because I started to jump from my father's friend to a friend, you know. One person was working in the media, in the like by saying media in the advertisement. You know, when you walk by an store and you
Yeah.
see on the door there is an advertisement.
Yeah.
We used to do this. We used to put them on the doors, and we used to do
Like
the
promotion and what's
promotion. Yes, yeah, what's inside, or for example,
Yeah.
what's the deal for this
Yeah.
month, you know. So he used to work in this, and like the billboards and boards and those stuff.
Yeah, it's a good field,
It
no?
is a good field. It's very good. And when I worked at this in this field, I was like 13, something like this. So I was kind of a little bit more. Uh, I understand more. I have a little bit of an idea. You know, I'm just
How
a
old were you about?
teenager, 13. I
So
just,
crazy. I was playing with dolls.
Wallah, my dolls was
People heard the first episode, they know you were driving a car since what age? Like also like
like
11,
also 10.
10, 11, it's
Yeah.
crazy. So this is different, okay? We are in Saudi. Friends, this is different
Yeah,
village.
yeah.
Yeah.
So according to my dad, because you know he said learn before
Yeah.
you make money, so he
Yeah.
used to throw me into any shit
Uh-huh.
just to learn. And to be honest, I'm very thankful about this. And I when I call him until this day, I told him thank you for this opportunity because he really threw me in many things, and I got to know and learn some skills, even if at the time wasn't good. Maybe they are helping me now. But I wish if he taught me more about making money or like how to manage money, or if he stood for me against his friend, like, hey, where is my son's money, bitch? You know,
Yeah.
you promised him this, give him it.
Right.
He didn't do that, and that like made me struggle now when I'm adult too, because I used to if someone didn't pay back my money, I was like, ah, okay, fuck it, you know.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, no, that's my money.
Right.
That's something I really worked very hard for. Come here, bitch, give me my money.
Yeah.
I learned to stand up for myself on my own
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And you learned that how long ago?
Like 5 years, I started to have this like deep thoughts with myself, and like I dig deep in me, and I erased most of the stuff that was
Yeah, like
taught
that
wrong. Like,
conditioning that you
yes.
had, because we don't know that we are being conditioned to this when we are kids, right? We just like absorb what we hear. So whatever our parents tell us about money or work, we're just like,
We think that's the right
right.
thing because we are kids. We are like sponges.
Of
We
course.
suck every information.
Yeah.
So yeah, I realized that I need to go through my informations what I sucked when I was like kid, and yeah, I need to look over them again.
It took you some effort probably to relearn it. Because it's not that easy if we are not like used to standing up for what's ours and asking for the value. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time and energy to go, and it takes a lot of uh, courage, you know, to do that because it's really not easy, and you need to be able to listen to a lot of people. Like, I mean, people whose specialties is like self-developments and stuff, you know, and to see where is your imbalance, you know. But yeah, business with family and friends is something else, man.
And you know, I also want to share something I just am thinking about. Later on, or like I will start like this. One of the things I used to hear in our family is like money don't grow on trees. It's like the most popular sentence to say. Or my dad's favorite was like, I don't print the money. And I was always thinking, it's a pity.
Well, but he said it good. My dad used to say the same, but in different phrase.
Yeah.
You know what? He says, "Well, son, I don't shit money."
And my mom's favorite, which like look at the conflict. Yeah. So my dad is like, I don't print the money, and then my mom is like, money will be, but we will not be. I swear that was her
Yeah,
favorite.
so spend it when you can.
So she's
Yeah.
the spender, right? And he's like, he doesn't want to give, and that was very conflicting. And then later, when I was growing up, like another thing happened in our family. My dad opened a convenience store. So it's not just for Asian people.
Yeah.
If you thought about that. Well, we had a convenience store. In Czech Republic, it's very common that a convenience store, people will not know that if they're not from Czech Republic, convenience stores are often owned by people from Vietnam because we have a very big Vietnamese community in Czech Republic. However, I was from a small town, 10,000 people, and this was like our little business, right? So what that meant for me, work. It was free, but then I was like getting paid like 50 cents per hour or sometimes even $1.
What? How old were you then?
Dude, I was like, I started maybe like when I was like 14. It was this type of money, right? It's like from 1920s or something like that. I somehow saved it, and when there was someone's birthday or it was Christmas, I had the money to buy gifts. I don't know how I did it, but I had it. I guess maybe it's also because I had like no time to fuck around
yeah,
after school.
yeah.
I just had to be at work while other people were like hanging around at corners.
With friends, playing
With friends.
games and doing.
I
Man,
kind of had to be more
that
focused
sucks.
and more diligent. There was like no life. It was just like this and a lot of focus. I don't know. But one thing that I miss is that my parents didn't teach me anything about investing, for example, or
Same.
long-term saving, the
Same.
value
Yeah.
and things like that. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Should I have been paid more?
This is the thing. Working with family, they will like I won't say always, but most of the time they will underpay you, because they will think that okay, she's my cousin, so she like is helping me to grow my business. So if you deserve $10, for example, like he would give you $7 and he would make you feel that he's giving you the world. And because at that age, or even if like now, like you wouldn't ask for like more money because like, dude, you're seeing how am I doing my best, Do you think really I deserve this? And this is the problem with working with like family or relative. If you're working with a stranger, like just a normal company, and they see you how you work, they will give you a rise. They will increase your salary because you're
Yeah.
no, like many cases, like it happened with me, with my friends. Like I'm talking about now, my current job. Like they increased my salary just because they saw that they can depend on me and they need someone like me they can trust. So and I found that that's very good.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
100%, because that's the appreciation part
Exactly.
of your work, and
Yeah, but working with friends, let me tell you. So
then there's the other side of this.
yeah, so 1 month ago, a friend of mine came to me. So he came to me, he's like, we have an office and we need to redesign it, me and my partners. Yeah. So can you come and check the office, see what's up, and talk to the other partners
What's your
and stuff?
profession?
Architect.
Right.
Yeah. So I am Obeida, I'm an architect. I- So he wanted me to redesign his office, take pictures, measurements, everything, and we sat and talked. I was like, okay, man. So what's your idea? He's like, no, You do everything. Like, yeah, we just need to make it look more lively. I'm like, okay, I will do it. And then I started to like think about it, and I shared some ideas with him, and he was like very positive about that. He's like, yeah, wallah, that's great. That's so good. I like this. This, maybe no. What do you have else? And we were sharing ideas. So I told him like, listen, it's like just to design it on the 3D and stuff to see how it would look on reality. It would cost $15,000. You're my friend.
1,000 or 100?
Sorry, $1,500, like $1,500. So I told him, but you're my friend. I'm gonna do it for 1,000. He literally took like few seconds of silence. He's like, what the fuck, man? That's a lot. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, man, that's a lot. He's like, you know what? How about you do everything, you design it, and you go check the materials, ask for the prices, give me
Right.
everything, make a price list, you know, and add your price and tell me about it. And if we do it, we will do it. I was like, and what if you didn't like?
Wait, so you gave him a first estimate of your work. You already gave him a discount. And he didn't want it. So instead of like just say no, he asked you to do more work for free.
Yeah, yeah, and he is negotiating my price.
Negotiate
Like,
your price.
brother, if you don't value my work, then why you want me to do it?
But you're a friend. Friends don't charge anything.
Exactly, you know.
Friends work for free. If you didn't know that,
That sucks.
your friends should never
Work for free.
that's the thing. I was raised within the family, you don't charge or you don't pay. Within friends, it's pretty much similar. Relatives, it's similar. Like there is no money
Then
or
who-
very little money
Then
spent.
how am I gonna get my first customers if they wasn't my relative or something? It should be the opposite. You are my cousin or my relative. You are my friend. You
Yeah.
should support me when
Yeah.
I open my business. You know, you should be like, hey, congratulations, you
Yeah.
opened your business. Here is whatever,
Yeah.
$10, man, $5. Bring me flowers.
That's the thing.
You know?
Yeah.
So that friend, and he kept like just asking for more discounts and stuff. And I was like, dude, if you guys don't have the money for a designer, why are you asking for a designer? You know?
How did he feel about it? Do you think he actually understood
No, he was
what happened?
in his face, he was upset.
He was upset.
He was upset.
Because he was upset that like from your behavior. He didn't like your behavior. That you wanted to get paid for your work.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe he just thought that I would be paid less than like or similar what I'm charging my students. Like my students is something and your work is something else.
Course. We know that. Yeah. And the most upsetting part about this is probably that this is a businessman.
Yeah.
You would expect to understand the value of work, time, service, expertise, right?
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was doing something and you told me, I will pay you for it. That we were just to blah, 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 blah. Just to explain, we were together, right? We were a couple and you wanted something from me that was kind of like my expertise. And you said, I will pay you for it.
It was the portfolio.
The portfolio.
Yes.
Or something like that. Like, yeah, I think it was something graphic design. And you know what? I remember, since I was not used to this, for a moment, I felt like offended.
How can you pay me?
But I didn't say that at that moment, of course. I was just very confused. There were a lot of emotions, certain feelings, new experiences within me. And I was like, he wants to pay me for this, but like, that's wrong. And then the other part of me was like, maybe it's actually right. And then I'm like, that's right. Who else should support you if your closest people? Let's say like this, I have $100 in my bank account. My friend starts a business and their service or product is 25. At that point, I have 75 on my bank account. Because like there goes 25 to their business.
Yeah. And really, that's how it should be. Like, okay, even if you if, for example, if your friend started a business and he charging something high or like it's out of your reach, contribute with anything you can.
Right.
You know, maybe get him a gift, a symbol of like that you are supporting
Yeah.
him, you know.
Talk about
Talk
them.
about them.
Share
Exactly. Tell your
them.
friends about them. Yeah, share them.
Share
Like
them
share.
with your friends.
Tell
Yes.
your people about them. Like, hey, my friend just started, let's say, an English business, English teaching business.
Yeah.
If you have anyone you know to
Right.
like advertise them, and there's nothing wrong with it. And if you please, whoever is listening to this, if you asking a friend of yours to do you something as his specialty, like a business, if you didn't like the price, please don't negotiate it.
Right.
Don't negotiate it. Just thank him for him time and tell him this is out of my reach. I will see. If he offers you a discount, then he offers. If he doesn't, then he can't.
That's also the professional part. But not only like business wise, professional, but also just relationship wise. You know, it's just like respect and politeness. And I understand that sometimes we might feel like shocked, maybe because we just didn't expect that price or something. It's fine. Just keep it quiet. Cry about it at home.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah. I remember the story. I told you about it. You know, my first car.
yeah, oh my God, it was a
Yeah.
horrible story.
Yeah, I bought, guys,
Okay,
listen.
wait.
Yeah.
There's another story from how you can get fucked over by your
Over
own
by your-
family.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
So,
Once upon a time.
once upon a time, I was like 15, 16 years old. I was very into cars, of course, like any guy, and I needed to learn more about like mechanics and how to modify your car.
Yeah.
So I like my dad has a friend who had like many cars, and one of them it was like Toyota 89, the model of the car 1989. It's very old, you know. So I bought it for almost, as far as I remember, $1,200. You know, the car didn't work. I bought it and I couldn't turn it on and just go around with it. No, I bought it and I had to fix it. So after buying it, I spent a lot of time and effort to fix it, and I spent another like $1,500 almost to get it all done. And I thought that my dad was taking care of the papers work. So of course, my dad, he's very like he trusts people a lot, and he didn't do any shit about the papers. So I thought like we bought it, and my dad put it on his name because
Yeah.
I am underage, so
Right.
I can't put it on my name. I fixed the car. I made it very beautiful. I made the engine run. I learned a lot. I learned
Just
a
by
lot
fixing
by
it.
fixing it because I used to fix it some parts in my hand. Sometimes when I give it to a mechanics, I used to stand with him and see what he's doing, and I used to tell him like, "Let me help you fix my car." After fixing it, after doing everything, he saw the car, and he went to dad and he was like, listen, I want more for the car. I asked in the market, and even if it wasn't working, the value of it is $2,500, you know? So it's like almost double the price. So my dad called me and he was like, listen, son, the guy is saying this and this and this. What do you think? I'm like, well, it doesn't worth this much of money. If he think it is like this, then let him give me the money of the car
Yeah.
and what I repaired. I still have all the bills with me. He was like, okay. Uh, oh my God, I feel like crying now saying this. He was like,
Give him a moment. He's remembering.
Wallah, all these memories coming back. He was like, okay, I agree. Give me back the car. I'll give you back the money. Of course, some people they're asking why did you give him back the car? Because it was still under his name. So
Yeah.
even if I didn't give it back to him, he can report it's stolen and I can get fucked.
Yeah.
So I gave him back the car. He gave me back only the car's money. He didn't give me the like what I fixed and modified and stuff. And he was like, I will give it to you back in like 3 weeks. Anyway, I was like, okay, because like it's my father's friend.
Yeah.
He
Again,
he
right.
can't be cunt, you know?
Surely our parents don't make friends with cons.
Yeah, like he can't be an asshole and like just bail on me. It's like, okay, I told my dad like this and this and this. He's like, okay, if he says so, if he says so, he will do that. I was like, okay. Time goes and comes, life goes on.
Money's not coming.
Money's not coming, and like that, what's the problem? He's like, well, I don't know, my son. I'm like, so my dad didn't do anything. So I went to this motherfucker house.
That sounds savage.
Yeah, I knocked on the door. I can hear voice
That's very
in the
brave, by
inside.
the way.
I swear to God,
what was the age? 15, 16?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Well, I would never do that.
I can hear sound from the inside, and I'm like, you either open the door or I'm gonna fuck your car or something, you know? After like he didn't open, he didn't do anything, and I was very
What a
furious.
coward.
Wallah, I was very furious. I went outside. I saw like two of his cars. I wanted to damage them so bad, but
If you did, don't say it because it's recorded.
no, I
Okay.
didn't. Unfortunately, I'm too nice
Uh-huh.
to do that. So I went back and I just got home. My dad was like, "Why do you go to the man's house?" And I was like, "Huh?" He
So
was
he was
this
at home?
this yeah. He was at home. He called my dad and he told him, "Your son is threatening to kill me." I didn't say anything about him.
Now you wish you damaged those cars.
Exactly.
At that point, you're
Exactly.
like, it
So
was
my dad was like, of course, in the Arab culture, if your dad say, I don't know how to say it in English, but
say it in
ra
Arabic. Educate us.
بغضب عليك. بغضب عليك means I'll get angry toward you, but not normal angry. Like when your parents say بغضب عليك, that means they will be mad of you for the rest of their life,
Oh my
and
God.
your relationship with God also won't be easy
You're so
because they're
dramatic.
yeah, I hope I translated it the right way, but it was like something like a red flag for me, especially. Like you don't want your parents to put you in this situation, you know,
To hate you for the
to
rest
hate
of
you
your
for the
life.
rest of your life or something. It's like, well, if you say like, of course, my parent or like couple $100, no, fuck, money
Yeah.
will come. He's like, I'll give you your money back. I'm like, you are also like him. You don't, you won't give me your, you know.
Nobody's giving you
Nobody's
money.
giving you money.
You just work, and there's no money for you coming.
Yeah, and unfortunately now I am minus on my money, and I don't have car, and
But you have
I
experience. But okay, what did you
what?
learn from this that you actually took with yourself?
Never trust your father's friends. That's
it.
That's it. Because what can you learn?
Since then, have you worked with other relatives and family friends?
Family friends,
learn?
no.
No?
Yeah, family friends, no. I start, and that's where it gets better because I stopped giving those people like any space. I started to work with strangers and I was making a lot of money. And by the age of like 16, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was good. That was good. But then, of course, some relative needed me to work with them. I worked with them. And of course, they paid me. It was okay. But I still think they underpay me. But I knew they would underpay me. But I needed the experience. Yeah. Like, you know, you get, by the time you get older, you realize more about these stuff. So
Yeah, like many of us know that sometimes you just gotta sacrifice a little bit on the income because you have like a bigger picture
yes.
in your mind.
Yes.
I think many of us, as far as like my circle goes, struggle or used to struggle with putting a price on our value, on our expertise. You know, asking for being paid, you know, for the service you provide, for your time, or even starting a business. Many people like struggle with starting a business because they feel uncomfortable asking to be paid for it. How is it for you, and do you have any advice for people? Did you also struggle with it?
Of course, especially when you work somewhere
Yeah.
before you start a business. Let's say you work somewhere and you feel like they are underpaying you.
Yeah.
If you feel that, then it is true. They are underpaying you.
Mm.
But we don't have the guts sometimes to go to them and like, listen, it's either you pay me this and this and this, or I'm gonna just go.
Yeah.
You know? It, and if he pays you, he will pay you. If you go, you will find another job with more paying.
Why don't we have the guts?
Because we always think, what if? What if I leave the job and I don't find job? There is no such a thing. You will always find a job.
That's true. There's
You
so
will
much work.
always find job. There is so much work. So that's one. One thing is that when you go talk to them, let's say, if you talk to them like, listen, man, the salary is not enough, he will give you many reasons why the salary is not enough. And you will feel like you will feel that he have a point, that's true what he said. He will underestimate you and you will believe him, you know,
Yeah.
because he is way up ahead of you. So he's like more experienced.
Right. So
He is
you believe
you
their
be-
expertise.
exactly, and you start to think like, what if he was true? What if I'm really not that good as a, you know? So that's why you don't go and say, listen, the salary is not enough, please, if you can make me. No. Like, listen, man, I am doing this and this and this for this company. I am putting a lot of effort. It's either you give me this salary or I will have to quit. You know,
Do
of
you-
course, in a nice way.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible to have this approach and belief at an early age, let's say 20?
Yes, if your parents really like showed you the value of you, like for example, if let's say all the stories I said,
Yeah.
if my dad stood up for me
Yeah.
and he was like, hey, listen, my son did this and this and this for you, give him back your money. So I would understand that. If I defended myself this way, people will have to give me my rights. So when this happens with me at work, even if I was 19, even if I was 20, if I saw that he's not giving me what I deserve, I will go to him, I will prove him
Yeah.
that I'm doing more, you know, to the company than I'm getting paid. And if you don't pay me equivalent to what I'm giving you, I will quit.
Yeah.
You know, if I do this with confidence, because this confidence came from the youth, from my parents, if I say it like this, then this time he will see like, oh, this kid is that confident.
Yeah.
You know, I need someone this confident.
If you believe in yourself, other people
Other
will believe in that.
automatically.
Automatically. There's no doubt
Automatically.
about it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But if you was like, oh, listen, man, like I am doing a lot, but you're not paying me good. He's like, yeah, because you know, anyone can do what
It's
you're
like they can
doing.
smell the weakness.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Like
Yeah. It's like that.
like what they when they say, you know, when you pass through wolves or dogs,
Yeah.
don't make them feel that you are afraid. They will attack you.
Right.
You will have to act like you are brave so they get scared. And that's really the case.
Yeah, if you feel like people are not giving you what you're supposed to get, chances are you don't even value yourself on that level, and that's why you're not getting it.
Yes, and it's not wrong. But
How come it's not wrong?
it's because, as we said, your parents,
Nice.
the way they used to deal with this type of events when you are young, you
Yeah,
know,
meaning it's not your fault,
it
right?
it's no one's fault, let's say. No, you know, there is no one to blame because you're like, let's say my parents, they did their best thinking that they're doing good. You know, they're teaching me something. For example, what my dad taught me, he really taught me to be caring and to care about people and not to fuck people over, you know. So in the end, you can learn, no matter how your parents were with you can learn something,
You
even
can
if you were,
always, yeah. You can always improve, and at the end of the day,
yes,
in this time, it's our job.
everything is available
Yeah.
and we are grown up. So now it's our time to see what am I not liking in myself? What is my weakness? And I work on them.
Yeah.
You know, my weakness is that I let people fuck me.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not gonna let people fuck me. If I see someone who is trying to use me or trying to let me work a lot for very little money, I'm like, I'm sorry, sir, that's not me. Go find someone else. You
Yeah.
know, I am more than this.
Right.
When you present to people yourself as a diamond, you know,
I
they
like
will
this. As a diamond.
exactly
love
they
it.
will pay you as much as a diamond. But if you are a diamond and you present yourself to people as silver, they will pay you silver.
It's true.
So self-confident, but of course, too much of self-confidence is stupidity.
For our listeners, if you feel now like that you're old at this point, you know, it would be difficult to change, that this is something that needs to be fixed in your early 20s or so on, it's not true. I'm in my late 30s, and most of my life I was not really able to ask for money in general. I would not be asking for money. I didn't even know what like a value is. I would just accept whatever they gave me, and it was like covering kind of like the cost of whatever it is. Also, I was in an environment where everyone was kind of doing the same, you know. We were all getting our needs met by the end of the month.
Which is like get a job so you can live, you know.
And you kind of like take it as a norm, you know, the thing. And it takes really some effort and some studies of yourself, reading, listening, like really doing the effort to get better and stepping out.
Deep thinking.
And uncovering like what are your beliefs when it
Yes.
comes to these things. So what I want to say is like I actually only learned this. I started learning this around my 34, 35.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad about it.
Well, age is a number at the end, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, it might be a little bit harder to do this stuff if you're not used to continue
Yeah.
learning, continuously learning stuff. But if it's not possible, if you just have the will to search deep in yourself,
Yeah.
what happened in your childhood that wasn't in your control back then?
Yeah.
You know, the stuff that people fed you, your parents fed you, for whatever reason. It might be good, might be bad. We're not talking about this, but like we got fed a lot of stuff by everything surround us. We forget how to listen to ourselves.
That's one of the things we forget for sure.
Yeah.
As kids.
So if you just, even if you're 50 now, I swear, I know my friend's mother, and I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. She's like now 53 and she's just studying university.
It's amazing. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's totally fine, because maybe you will get in a busy area in your life and you won't be very available for yourself, but no matter what happens, don't forget yourself. Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Learn.
Yeah.
You know, the mind is like the body. When you enter the gym and you exercise, your body get in shape, you start to have muscles, you feel good, you know. So it's the same for your mind. When you learn, when you value yourself, it also get in shape and start to look better. But when you stop, it lose the shape.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
the body.
That's so much work. Always work.
Yeah. Well, it's better to open Netflix and watch.
Let's just do Netflix instead.
Actually, let's watch something.
Okay. This was a great inspiration. I really love this episode. I hope people who are listening to this get value out of it, and I hope they get some good laugh out of our experiences. I hope they maybe now think, oh, my childhood wasn't that bad.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so. So please share with us, how was your childhood like, or if you have similar story, we would be very, very happy to hear that.
Yeah, we would love that.
And if you have anything in mind you would like us to talk about, just say the word.
Say the safe word. I don't know.
So that was Culture Babe.
It's Culture Babe with Rose and Obi. Take care.
See you. Mwah.